Hello and welcome back to ReBooking to Mastery, a podcast that I started a 22-year-old master's student just dedicated to spreading some knowledge to the rest of the world. For all you new listeners, I'm currently analyzing the book called Stillness is the Key, and we're currently on part one, which is the mind. And so the mind is a labyrinth of places for us to decipher, view, and see. And we spend a lot of time. We spend a lot of time, so much time in our mind. We spend that time we dedicate to the mind is beyond that of any other person. And so instead of trying to regulate things that are outside of us, why not regulate things inside of us? And that's what the mind talks about. And so the topic I'm going to go into is the idea of slowing down and thinking deeply. So we live in a kind of epidemic of fast, an epidemic of yes, I will get this done. I will be efficient. I will finish this. I will complete this job. I will finish this thing I have to do. But in being so toward this temporary goal of completion, what actually truly is essential becomes invisible to the eye. We are so disturbed by the surface level concerns that we actually make bad decisions accordingly. We really need to take our impressions, our ideologies, our views, and put them to the test. Put them to the test of our own mind, our own analysis, play devil's advocate with ourselves, attack our ideologies, and craft better ones that are more nuanced and ones that are not based in ego or based in conceit. Because in the end, if we allow ourselves to analyze our own impressions, we ensure, to the best of our knowledge and ability, that we aren't being led astray. So we look at a pond. We step in the middle of a pond and we notice that there's a lot of, we can't really see the bottom of the pond. Because we kind of stepped into it, created a bunch of ripples, and a bunch of mud or sediment kind of dislocated, and is now circling around. A lot of us only stay in that point, and we just keep walking. We just keep walking to the next pond, hoping to see the bottom of the pond or the land that is underneath. But those who wait to see the actual ground, who actually wait to see the muddy water settle, are those who become greater at what they actually do. When you put your mind in such a state of deep work, when you put your mind in such a clarified sight of your own self, deeper truths emerge. And so you may have heard a lot of people in society, they tend to go to substances, they tend to go to alcohol, they tend to go to weed, they tend to go to some stimulant that is going to apparently clear their mind to provide this spiritual realization. And I say why to that. I say, why is it that you are so reliant on an external substance that you cannot bring your mind to stillness? You cannot wrestle your own mind to a sense of stillness by itself. Why must you rely on a secondary substance for your spiritual realizations, in quotes? Are they really realizations? Are they really spiritual realizations that you're having? Or are they just manifestations of what you think is true or not, given by the altering behavior of such a substance? So much of our distress comes from stepping to the next pond, reacting instinctively, instead of actually conscientiously deliberating what is true and what is not. Instead of analyzing and allowing ourselves to be so immersed in what we are analyzing, as opposed to simply seeing it on the surface. So all you must do is just empty your mind, slow down, and think. That's it. And not even think, just sit there. Your mind will do the thinking. And if you let your thoughts wander for a good amount of time as to what you want to do, sooner or later, a word or a goal will end up materializing. If you spend some time ruminating in your thoughts and thinking about what goes around you and actually deliberating it instead of accepting it, understanding the why, not the what or the how or the who or the where, but rather the why, you will find yourself with a more clear view, a more philosophical view, a more standardized view of the world around you. And it's interesting, there's a contradiction that rises. You may ask, like, how do I know this if I do not learn it, if I do not think about it to find out about it? And it's really not that you're really learning about it or stumbling upon it for the first time. It's been a part of you this entire time. You just need to recognize it. And it's an inherent contradiction. You think that you need to be very present in everything with all of your strengths and your abilities. Rather, it's a paradox. We need to empty to be fully present. We don't need to be so present to be fully present. And it may seem not the easiest to think about or accept, but in time, if you do allow all these preconceptions to drain from you, and you just stay empty, an empty vessel, you'll be able to take in more than you ever did when you were full to the brim with everything that you hold to yourself. Thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like to follow me on all platforms, follow me at ReBooking to Mastery on TikTok and Instagram. And if you love my content, feel free to drop me a follow and leave any comments for me to improve my podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and see you guys next time.